Welcome to the NXT review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another one of jolly boys, Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture, to review everything that happened on this week's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT2, but AW Collision and pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup that we complete with a really good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett, here to review last night's episode of NXT. Look around the world, pretty baby. Is it everything you hoped it'd be?
The best show we discuss on Wednesdays. It's time for NXT.
Just knock that up as we were getting ready.
Don't you mean this show is ruining our wrestling?
This was classy yet again.
It was a bit match heavy. Don't switch off. It's all right. But otherwise, yeah, no complaints on a show that was heavily dominated by a stable we've complained about for 3 solid years.
Yes.
So truly we are we're through the matrix at this point. I think there was a sense here that the Gallus boys are on top, but that time is going to be short-lived. And then the main roster's problem, we review that too. I don't quite know.
We will. We just put that into the. Don't worry about that for the time being.
That's a June problem on another day of the week. But yeah,
and I think it's fair to say Tony Khan's dropped down to the third best booker with some brilliant work here from Shawn Michaels. Any disagreements? Fair enough. Okay, let's dive straight into this show.
Rafon's bad faith, if you like.
Sidger will be back for the Dynamite preview. He was so blown away by this show, he's had to go and have a lie down. That's what he said to me. Or he's got some fun family thing, not concerning family thing, some nice family thing he's off doing this morning, so he'll be back later on today. So microphone will be here in his place.
You're going to get in trouble again.
Hopefully he can help us out if there's any surprise appearances on this show.
Yeah, fingers crossed. He's pretty good with a voice or two, isn't he? So.
Yes. Let's start with they had a big recap of what happened last week and Gallus and and then we got straight into the NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match qualifiers. The match, of course, which will take place at the next PLE for NXT. That being, of course, NXT Battleground. You're grounded. Battlegrounded. You're winner. Ding, 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 ding. Sorry, Mike. There you go. Oh. Lose most of your heat through your head. There you go.
Funny microphone, he doesn't have a muff up top.
Excuse you?
Question about that I've only thought about.
Which part?
Battleground.
Yes.
Is the boy that complaining to his mom also a machine at Las Vegas Casino? Because he does say it in the bit. Who we've worked out is the son of a soldier. The mom is actually somebody going back off to... She serves in the military, that's right, isn't it?
I think so.
And she's like... I think that's where we last left this law. She serves in the military, and he's like, wow. So, does he, when he's not...
Unless that's his stern father...
Right.
Laying down the law, and we unforeseen, the mother is behind, and he's kind of appealing to her...
Before she goes back out.
Before she,
To catch and compromise people to their permanent end.
Yeah.
How has he got this job at the casino? Because he's the one telling people that they're a winner. Ding, ding, ding.
I'd stop asking questions.
I didn't know, it only occurred to me here, and I know this because, I buy in 100% to the performance, and he's got the hat on. So that's the tell.
Maybe he's got, a temp job. That's the thing, he's temping to bring some extra cash in for the family, because, of course, he's also there for Halloween.
That's true. And he's just been relaxing.
He's just spring breaking, dude. We've blown this case wide open.
But it makes sense. Do you know why he took a break? Probably because around March, April, he's something of a dandy highwayman, isn't he? Because what's he saying to passing trucks? That's it. So he's robbing all of them.
And he's a bad start or slash enter the year. I can never remember where it falls, where he's gone a bit connipted.
That's right, yeah. Oh, that solved that.
Yeah.
Good. And so I wanted to,
God, I love the Iron Survivor, by the way. I just remembered NXT Deadline. It's like Anarchy in the Arena, but good. That's all right. That's what everyone else says, right? Best new match tape ever. Well, I'll tell you what. Fair's fair. Let's do some simple maths. How many Anarchy in the Arena matches have there been?
2.
How many good Anarchy in the Arena matches have there been?
2.
Fair enough. Absolutely. No disagreements here. How many good Iron Survivor matches have there been?
4.
So it's twice as good. Case closed, baby. Your Honour, the defence rests.
Podcaster's caught.
See, Mum and Dad, I did become a lawyer eventually. What are you moaning about?
AEW coverage coming today, later.
I'm joking. Just winding up because he's not here. Fallon Henley versus Thea Hale to see who joins.
That's a big timer saying, 5 minutes has gone. That's good, right? Okay.
Who's going to join like Lash Legend and Sol Ruka, right? Who's already in the ladder match. Fun back and forth early on. Obviously, these two have got a lot of history together. You've got all the Chase U and Ridge Bloody Holland out there. Hale eventually launches herself through the ropes with this big wild dive. She's in control. Henley has to bail to the outside as they've gone back into the ring. And in all this panic, she grabs a chair from under the ring and she's like, I'm going to twat her with it. You'll get disqualified. Chase U are like, this isn't fair. Ridge Holland's like, I'm not having this. So he snatches the chair away from her. But at that point, the referee spins round to see Ridge Holland menacing with a chair. And he's like, I'm not having this. You and all the Chase U lot, you're out of here. And Ridge was only trying to do the right thing, but I've bloody done it wrong again.
I think what we saw here was the start of the next stage of this character, by the way, because turns out leopards can change their spots.
Yeah.
Well, that made fools of us, didn't it? But like this week, it wasn't about what he was doing, it was about what he nearly did. Because obviously he's there holding the chair, right? What was different about Ridge Holland and everybody else that he was there ringside with?
He wasn't in a Chase U outfit.
Bang on correct, right? So what do they get him next week? So, like, bygones are bygones. Leopards can change their spots.
He's going to kick Riley Osborne's ass next week.
Well, he is. But Andre is going to present him with his very own Chase U gloves. But that means he keeps getting caught red-handed.
Oh, no. That's good. That's good stuff.
He never takes them off and they stink. Goalkeeper gloves stink.
Yeah, we had to get a 5-a-side on Monday. And it was like, not even how nice it was on Monday afternoon. And everyone was like, you can put the gloves on if you go in there. I'm all right. I'll just have a hurty hands, thanks.
You're all right.
Henley tries to slingshot off the middle rope into a suplex on Hale, but Hale catches her with the standing Kimura lock.
My son wears his goalkeeper. They're at a point where they need washing and he's
burning.
Wash him, but then they take ages to dry. He's also got he loves wearing his watch that he got for Christmas, but he has it on a setting too tight, and then he takes it off and he might as well wave it around like a piece of shit on a stick. It stinks you can see the imprint of it. Oh, God. Kids are gross.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're cleaner when you've got them laid down wiping their arse, mate. Honestly, it gets no better.
So she's caught in the standing Kimura. Henley manages to gate a roll through the ropes. I like that spot. They roll through the ropes. She's still got the Kimura locked in. Henley drives her into the barricade to break it. But Thea Hale, unaffected, hulks back up, goes after Henley, who's dived back into the ring. But Henley has used this separation to recover. Hits Thea Hale with a Shining Wizard. 1, 2, 3. Fallon Henley advances to NXT Battleground. And Thea Hale is recovering in the ring when suddenly Jasmine Nix runs down, attacks Thea Hale, hits her with a Pele kick, and beats her down, basically.
Yeah, I like this match. It was pretty basic, but it was that reminder, wasn't it, that Fallon Henley and Thea Hale are two of the characters that we've been invested in for ages.
Yes.
Ages. Veterans on this brand, even if they're both still relatively young at wrestling, full stop. I know Fallon Henley had some AEW Dark matches, I think, and so it's been around a bit longer than just the Performance Center, but nonetheless, I feel like we've lived with these characters for years and years now.
I thought you'd like Thea Hale's white gear as well.
I've just been glad to see her back in the Chase U stuff in general. Like it was fun. The do era was a good one.
We've all had that stage in our lives.
That was it. She just went off the rails a bit and she's back on them, and she's just so good at that character. It helped Fallon Henley.
I listen to System of a Down now, Mum and Dad. You don't get me.
Slam a door and then open it again. What time's tea?
Got fish fingers. Sandwich.
Fish fingers is my favourite member of Slipknot.
Fish fingers is what I get after wearing goalie gloves for a while.
That's what you were going there, Jesus Christ.
Hey. Come
on, this is the NXT podcast. We keep it clean.
Stacks coming around later, probably.
So I've heard. All right, good match, whatever. The Fallon Henley heel turn needed something like a Thea Hale match to really help it along. Like, she is only really sneering a bit, but Thea Hale's such a great babyface that the fact that she's more than willing to just batter her own former friend to get on was good.
So Fallon Henley qualifies for Battleground, which is taking place. Which city is it again? I've forgotten.
Las Vegas, Nevada!
The city of sin, somewhere where you might go to, I don't know, drown your sorrows, perhaps. Maybe those crazy kids are going to get together with free, not free, but how much were you
$2 beers. Just back over for old time's sake, let's have a $2 beer, Fallon.
Where's the $2 beers?
This was at the Oyo Hotel and Casino. I'd love to stay there again.
In case they're watching.
Several bars, great staff, great facilities, tremendous location, looking out upon the MGM Grand, like near to New York, that top end of the strip. Access is fantastic. The Oyo Hotel and Casino. Great function room, I hear, at the Oyo Hotel and Casino. It's got a Hooters. Any thoughts on them?
Been to one in Nottingham. Good stuff. Good for food, I mean.
Yes. Yeah.
Love owls.
That was in the desserts thing. What are we talking about? Oh, there was a bit here. Jasmine Nix. There was a bit where Vic was like, "That Jasmine Nix, am I right?" And Booker's like, "What?" Just like
Booker T's all over the bloody shop, isn't he?
God Almighty!
He got Dante Chen's name wrong about 5 times.
Yeah, while he was trying to put over Lexis King, but I'm pretty sure he forgot Lexis. So there he is. There's the King. I was a King actually. Like just
the best.
He's supposed to be saying he's your new favourite. Love this guy, King. He wrestles like he's like a second generation Book.
Come on, Book. They had a row as well about Natty's sunglasses later, didn't they?
Oh, God.
You're bloody stupid in there, Mick.
Stupid idiot. Thanks, Book. Anyway.
Poor Vic Joseph.
Hardest job.
Yeah.
Honestly. I'd like listen to them all the time. We talked about this last week. It's one of the all-time commentary lines, isn't it? But like Sean on Sid, like the biggest piece of luggage. Brett carries him to one town, Sean carries him to another. Like it's Vic now. He's like Booker T's the biggest piece of luggage in the company.
They also showed the Vic Joseph clip from last week when they were recapping it, where he does the steel chair. Williams. That's class. Keep that in.
We got that on the board.
I'll see if I can dig it out. Right. Earlier on in the day, though, because they, in a little graphic in the corner, I went, what was that?
Yes.
But they revealed, earlier on in the day, there was the D'Angelo family arriving. Tony D carrying...
Sorry, and this is about the show, I promise. Speaking of Brooks Jensen, that was the other thing I wanted to mention when you brought him up, before we started talking about the Oyo Hotel and Casino. He was in the crowd.
What?
His latest picture, when he's just picturing...
Oh, yeah.
Beers, whiskey, and wines.
Let's have a look at it.
His latest picture is from the crowd side of the taping. Which
I take it you can't see the other side.
No, you can. He's basically just taking a picture of that air conditioner.
Oh, no.
He was at large at NXT, and he wasn't even noticed by his people.
Oh, look, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
There for the level up.
Nobody noticed. He says.
There for the level up tapings, and there for NXT. So this little Brooks Jensen side quest continues. Good stuff, innit?
I'm always keeping an eye out for this.
People have asked us, earnestly, I should point out, why we don't go into massive detail on the Raw and SmackDown reviews about the QR codes and the Wyatt teasers. And that's fair, actually. Like, the commentators are talking about it now, and like individually, we don't maybe follow the QR codes ourselves, but then all you need to do is go online and see that people are doing it. And it's great that like there's so much detail and effort being put into these things. If this is your cup of tea, I imagine you're going to be drinking a lot of brews anytime now. But I think we can offset that by saying, right, yes, I think Nightbird, hasn't I've seen it's been called something anyway. It's not
yes.
It's not White at 6, it might be Nightbird. Thank you. Nightwing is like Valkyria, isn't it? So maybe she's part of it. What suppose I got to do with it? I was talking about, this is like our White Rabbit, isn't it? Following Brooks Jensen's tweets where he's mysteriously drinking while watching wrestling. That's our kind of, but what does it mean? So we do try and keep across these extra, what is it, like added value content.
Yeah, the things that others miss.
That's it. That's what we're here for.
But I tell you who never misses, Tony D'Angelo. He's there. He's arriving with his family and the new Heritage Cup his new prize, the Heritage Cup, the biggest prize in all of wrestling.
That's what they're saying.
And they're all there. Hey, there's the champ. Da, 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 da. And Tony goes, "Oh, shiny, a little heavy, but it looks good." And then they bump into the tag champs, who of course are Axiom. Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
And they congratulate Tony on winning the cup. Tony says, "Oh, thanks. I saw your name on here." And Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Says it was one of the best nights of his life. He said, "Oh, if you could see what I could see that night." Stag says,
"Hey, Axiom.
Oh, right, embarrassing.
Your name on here?"
What you graduate in?
Theatre and Performance Studies.
Hand it back.
Yeah. And Rizzo's like, "Yeah, that's right. You got Charlie, you got Tyler, and you got A-Kid. Is anyone heard from him?"
Reclaim it.
Okay. And Lucas says, "He couldn't have been that, but
hand it back.
If the only name he could come up with was a kid." And they all laugh.
Right.
Axiom.
Let me explain. In case you didn't pick this reference up, right? Because it absolutely wasn't that the Heritage Cup was won by a kid, because previously it only existed on NXT UK and they were allowed nowhere near that brand. That was the name of the wrestler who we believe...
Gorgeous wrestler, by the way.
A stunningly beautiful man that they've put in a mask that completely obscures his face.
Who also still works through facial expressions.
But to be absolutely fair, right, I've seen A-Kid wrestle and I've seen Axiom wrestle. Number one, I've never seen them in the same place. Mm-hmm. Number two, that is technically possible because when Axiom first arrived, not only was he good at maths, he could kind of bend space and time on inventions,
yes,
if you recall. So I get the suspicions that they're one and the same, but I'm not 100% certain on it myself.
So they all laugh at this. Axiom laughs hardest. And Tony says, "Oh, you guys got some guts taking on all comers." And Stack says,
"Well, I don't know, dude."
Stack sings the Big Show theme.
Word on the street is these two have been ducking OC lately.
I might ask him if he arrives on the podcast today, but can you do an impression of Stack singing the Big Show's theme, please?
Well, there's the Big Show, boss.
What if Stacks, for one night, was given Mark Henry's old job on Rampage?
Well, looks like we've had enough talk. It's time for the main event.
Thanks, Wilbourn.
"You're welcome."
Bye, Wilbourn.
But Nathan Fraser,
When I'm cleaning windows.
says they're not ducking anyone. They're not going to be bullied into handing out opportunities for the tag titles to main roster superstars. If anything, they'll hand them out to NXT superstars. And Lucas says, "Oh, what about the me and the Stacks?" And then, and then Riz says, "Yeah, you wouldn't want to duck a couple of NXT superstars like Stacks and Luca, would you?" Tony menacingly says, "Oh, would you?" And Nathan Fraser says,
When I'm cleaning windows.
He says that.
says, no, you got a tag title match. You're on. And you got it tonight. Tony's like, oh, all right. Let's go prepare. Stacks says,
See you later tonight.
Vince says, Shine nose up for his boys. I loved this.
I loved it too because we've always had our suspicions that maybe we have friends in high places in NXT. And they could absolutely just flash up a graphic that says, tonight, the D'Angelo family are going to challenge Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Or they could do a long talking segment that allows us to do this as part of our review of the show. So I just, I'm routinely grateful for NXT. End of sentence.
How many people do you think know about that bollocks?
What?
I'll be honest, Stacks sure didn't the first time I met him in a work setting, let's say.
Well, hang on. No,
Obviously, I see him all the time.
So you meet him in a work setting every
It's
Tuesday? And today?
his territory.
He's coming today, I think. So you'll see him today.
Yep.
Oh, like sort of on his turf?
Yeah. Wale Mania, of all places.
Yes. I don't know. I would like to think...
One of the funniest... Next time we do a live show, ask me about that night, because we've got some of the funniest stories ever to tell that probably can't be broadcast on the podcast. One of which definitely can. It is the story of how we got the photo of me and Stacks. But it is, Nicholas, you'll agree on this, one of the funniest moments ever.
This is the sort of stuff where when people arrive, they'll have to put their mobile phones in boxes and stuff and just, no cell phones, huh?
But, he just said, yep, sure, you sure can take a photo. And then about 12 hours later, he was like, look, guys, 2 stacks. And I was like, someone told me.
We got to leave.
He did.
Well, which was important because it was at long last there to put to bed an ugly rumour.
Oh, don't get me started.
Just around some fans. There was this, it dates back years, that like people think you're the same person. And it was just nice to put that one to bed. If you're ever in any doubt, different heights. Could have told you that from the beginning, guys. Can you not see it when he sits down in the chair? Measure it. Go on, measure it. Show us you're working.
Anything you want to say about this?
No.
Good. We got a replay of Gallus taking out Wesley, Josh Briggs, and unfortunately Ivar. Ivar out indefinitely. Get well soon to him, genuinely. And then the subsequent tweets of like, oh, I still want to fight Coffee, da-da-da. That's why they set up the triple threat to see who was going to face Obafemi at NXT Battleground. All the Gallus are backstage, though, and Joe Coffey says the only way you get noticed is to make a bigger noise. No one was talking about Tracker, D'Angelo, or anyone else. It's all about Gallus. They say Ivar can enjoy his hospital stay, and Wes and Briggs are tougher than they thought. But when Joe becomes number 1 contender for the North American title, Obi's going to find out how dangerous he is. And they say NXT got comfortable with us going, but that's over.
I mean, they were shooting. Because it sure was a comfy place, wasn't it? It was a bit too fun, and that's over.
Oh, is it?
I saw it from the distance, and it wasn't boring, but those days are over. Yeah, Gallus boys are on top, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I'll cheer you up.
Yes, please. Just like, just Sean and Triple H think there's like the Scottish flags, like one big DX banner that's just missing the D. Is that what it is?
Got green lighting on their entrance, haven't they?
They love them. They've always loved Gallus.
Yeah. Well, it was the tag title match next. It was Axiom. And Nathan Frazier.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Versus Luca Crucifino and Channing Stacks Lorenzo from the D'Angelo family. I did like the fact that Stacks, when he came in to face off with Nathan Frazier.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Told him just slow down. Whoa!
Whoa, hold there.
Nice move where they had, I think it had Stacks held in like an octopus hold by Axiom, and Fraser does I always associate it now with Bron Breakker, just like, Jesus Christ, back and forth off the ropes. He kicks him in the head, gets a 2 count. Stacks gets back up, sends Fraser into the ropes, gets Luca in. But in amongst all this, he kicks Fraser off the apron, does Stacks, and hits a big elbow to him on the floor as we go to break. When we come back, Fraser hits a ridiculous springboard moonsault into a reverse DDT on Crucifino. And Axiom comes in and makes Crucifino DDT Stacks with this preposterous but really good setup.
Amazing.
There's a brainbuster combined with a kick to the head from the champs, but Luca breaks up the pinfall on Stacks. Luca cut off the champs. They hit he and Stacks hit a tandem slam on Fraser. Axiom just breaks up the pin at the last second. Stacks give Nathan Fraser a superplex for another near fall. Crucifino tried to jump in off the top rope, like the Power and Glory sort of finish thing, but Axiom super kicks him out of the air, which looked great. And then all of a sudden, I should have mentioned that the Riz and Tony D are there at ringside. The no quarter catch crew, Charlie Dempsey, Damon Kemp, and Miles Bourne jump in and brawl with Tony, attack him. That distracts, obviously, the rest of the family. That allows Fraser to small package Stacks 1, 2, 3. They retain the tag titles, but Stacks doesn't really care that much because he bails to the outside, and him and Crucifino brawl with the boys to the back. And whilst all that's happening, the OC slide in to attack the champs, beat him down. Nathan Fraser,
When I'm cleaning windows,
gets hit with the Magic Killer, and Gallows and Anderson pose with the titles.
We assumed it was stand and deliver, but we were naive to think it was going away. That being the threat of the OC.
Yes.
It's going to be at the next NXT PLE, isn't it? I won't make you do it again. But that's going to happen.
Yes.
So we're stuck with it. Dread it, run from it. It's the OC getting the tag title shot. Otherwise, I don't know, sometimes might be arriving around this time, but like, I'm not always the kindest about the in-ring of the family.
No.
But I remember thinking this at the time when they were tag champs. Stacks is pretty great. He's
fab,
tag wrestler.
yeah.
Good hot tag wrestler. Levels up when he's in there with certain guys that maybe, like, you would just, on paper, you would just look at, like, Axiom and Nathan Fraser. Like, it's the duality of NXT with those two because they're better than half the acts on Raw and SmackDown.
Yes.
Like, this is not a developmental brand when you're watching those two because there is nothing to develop. But you see him in there and it's like, do you know what? Like, he's raising his game for this, or he's being, or it's just dark arts and he's being elevated, whatever. Like, he belongs. He really does belong in this setting. And it's, I think I've missed family tag matches. That's what this made me realize. I think in-ring wise,
Luca's good as well.
Luca is, but like, I think ultimately the family has always existed to try and make a single star out of Tony and then an up-and-coming single star out of Stacks. And in reality, the tag stuff was where they both shone brightest, and it was just nice to, I know it was like Luca in there instead, it was just nice to see a version of it, I thought, again tonight. It's obviously going to lead to some sort of, like, faction thing with the family and the no quarter catch crew, so I'm sort of higher on that match than I would have been as well, just off the back of getting the reminder here.
Yeah. I just hope he keeps the Heritage Cup because, like I said, it's the biggest thing you can win, really, in this sport, so...
We haven't also seen them eating and drinking out of it yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But next week, one can dream.
Yes.
Before we go on, I've just seen we've got an internal messaging system called Slack, not Stacks, obviously. That'd be strange. And Sidge's things come on, so I'm just going to double check if he's here. Obviously, he could join us for the rest of the...
Yeah, he's not here, definitely not here.
I should go and check if he's...
Yeah, I mean, at a push, he'd be doing it off his phone on the metro.
Tell you what, worth a check because, we always need someone to keep us on track on this podcast.
If there's like one of us out of the three, there's like, you realise how unprofessional that is.
It looks
bad enough
briefly, but I think people let it slide.
Like, I like Raphone, but he's not exactly forthcoming with the crack. Who am I expected to talk like...
We'll just have a quick chat with him.
Nicholas hasn't got his microphone yet.
Yeah,
all of
working on that.
Written, so like, people can't hear if it's like a one-way conversation. It's fine. Nicholas, man, are you hearing this? Like,
I'm going to go and check. I'll be back.
Like, as a producer, is there something you can start doing about this, Nicholas? Because, like, I mean, let's not go too far. But I think it's about time we did something about it. Oh, my arm is hurting. I couldn't remember where Wilbourn was. Normally as well, Nicholas, he sort of asked me for any more thoughts, and yet what he's done here is really leave me in the shit because I have none left. So, how's it going? Hi, Stack. How's it going, Stack?
Yeah, pretty goddamn good. How's it going?
Yeah, like...
Where is everybody?
Well, this feels increasingly awkward. Wilbourn, you're not going to believe this, has only gone downstairs to check something.
Which you're probably going to check where Sidgy is, I would assume. Smart guy. Handsome guy as well. Talented too.
Hey, Wilbourn.
Love that guy, gotta say.
He's all those things.
Anyway, Like my new threads are.
No, not
so
this.
The referee's not too good because old Stacks, he didn't win the tag title, so I thought I'd pick up some extra work, huh?
All right, okay, you're freelance
Definitely
referee now.
didn't just forget and left my coat in the plane or whatever.
Maybe. Do you know what, Stacks? Maybe, because this is obviously money going into your pocket, you should bring with you the new D'Angelo family T-shirt.
Oh my God!
And you could wear, let's say, because I don't know if you've noticed, like, I know we're not known for our good
I
weather.
was wearing it on last night's NXT, if you saw it.
That's why, well, why aren't you wearing it today?
Because I got the ref joint,
Oh, right, yes.
obviously,
That's
which I like to wear over the top of my red jumper, of course. Anyway, enough of all that. Hey, maybe we can earn some extra money from the family from launching a new cameo with Willie, perhaps. Keep your eyes out for that one, guys. Anyway.
Well, you can go to mine because it's already there.
Dr. Fed.
Appreciate that, Stacks.
No problem. Hey, you got to be excited for this weekend. Huge show going on this weekend. Everybody's talking about it. King and Queen of the Ring, of course.
Not just that, Stacks. You're a wrestler. You're a wrestling fan. There's also Double or Nothing.
What's that now?
Yeah, Double or Nothing, a huge pay-per-view in Las Vegas by...
That TNA, the TNA guys?
Closer than it should be. All Elite Wrestling.
Nope, never heard of him. Oh, those the guys we used to beat all the goddamn time? Last time I checked, we went one-on-one. Who won? You schmucks.
Yeah, those are the guys.
Oh, well, good luck to the little engine that could, huh? Good luck to them this weekend. What's it called?
It's AW Double Nothing, Stacks.
Where's that going down?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, well, what venue they got, though? They got the Apex?
No.
Small time, I goddamn knew it. You know what else happens in Vegas?
You can stay at the lovely Oyo Hotel and Casino.
Also, you can gamble.
Yes.
And you can do roulette. Mm-hmm. You can do those little horsies that on the thing. Blackjack, of course.
Yeah.
Or I heard you can poker. What's the deal with poker, huh?
Well, despite how you've just phrased it, it's a card game.
Oh, well.
It's another way to gamble, much like the ways you just described, and yet you seem to not know that specific way to gamble.
Really that one, no.
Yeah, it's a game of, it's a game of cards, but a lot of people consider it more of a mind game. It's a game of bluffing, a game of making people believe you might have one hand when in fact you have another.
I got two hands.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how poker works because...
This hand is my hand, this hand is yours.
That's from a scene in... that's from a scene from an episode of Friends that was set in Las Vegas, and that's why that joke works.
Exactly.
Stacks is good at this. You should tell jokes for a living, Stacks.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, it's a game of cards, but it's also a game of bluffing. You kind of got to fool the other players around the table into thinking you might have, like sort of, maybe you've got a pair, but in fact you've got two pairs. And then they don't know, so they bet big because they think, I'm going to win this game. And then you go, two pairs. And then they had three of a kind anyway and beat your ass. But that's just the way poker goes.
Exactly.
You win some, you lose some, and like people sometimes... gamble, bet big, go all in, which is why that's also a phrase that's become quite familiar in wrestling parlance in recent years because it is the big bet, the big swing.
You know, sex is a lot like poker.
And is it, Stacks?
You don't have a good partner, you better have a good hand. That's what I always say.
Yeah, it's good.
3 questions, 3 jokes for you. Hamflett, when does a strip poker game start getting good?
Phone's useless. Nicholas, when does a strip poker get, other than, you know what Stacks is like? He's a bit of a randy sausage, when people take their clothes off.
And that used to be a wrestler, a macho man, you say? Macho man Randy Sausage? It's okay. I am up on my history.
That's right. Hypothetically, Stacks, if we made T-shirts, I think we'd just be printing about 1 million of them. Never heard you snort before, Stacks.
Just enjoy my joke. I gotta add that to the collection. Macho man Randy Sausage. Good. Anyway, when is the strip poker game start getting good?
Apparently when somebody says Macho Man Randy Sausage. I don't know, Stacks. I don't know.
When does the strip poker game start getting good? When somebody's got a big pair showing, huh?
You like that one, Stacks? You enjoyed that one, yeah?
Right, question joke number 2. Which animal is best at playing poker?
Right. Which animal is best at playing poker? Poker requires you to have a poker face. Like a blank stare, like something that isn't going to... Which animal is best at playing poker? I mean, I would have said a leopard because they never changed the spots, but maybe I'm going to... You know what? NXT related this, Stacks. Your colleague, Ridge Holland, he's a leopard that can change his spots, which is actually quite useful in poker. So I'm going to say a leopard.
Good, not right.
Okay.
What animal is best at playing poker? The buffalo.
That's good.
Oh, this is jokes you can tell your kids.
That's one for the... I can't wait for this next one then. I'll tell them both.
Final question for you. Final joke. Why did the poker player get beaten up by his uncle? Huh? Picture that.
Why did the poker player get... Uncle. So it could be a pun on nephew. His uncle. Because that feels like that matters, obviously. We've not had a spoonerism for a while. Poker player. I hate this because nothing's springing to mind. Normally me or Sid, you see, Stacks as well, you know. Like we'll sort of help each other spring into life. But I've got... This is a very... It's a very detailed setup.
Why did the poker player get beaten up by his uncle?
Fight, nephew, fight. Bluff. Nah, nothing's coming to mind, Stacks.
Why did the poker player get beaten up by his uncle? Because he upped his ante. See you later, guys.
Bye, Stacks. Oh, yes. I mean, you must have like logistically.
Just.
You will not believe the nickname we came up with for a very famous WWE wrestler. You know, I can't tell you.
Okay.
I'll
watch it back.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, for Christ's sake, I've just realised where we're going next.
The Brecky powers explode. What are we doing next?
We go backstage. And Layla Diggs, who did really good in the combat, didn't quite make the 12, but Layla Diggs, I believe, is her name. But, you know, she was chatting to someone, and for the life of me, I recognised him. Like, I couldn't remember what his name was, and I recognised him. He used to be part of... Oh, I'm going to make myself sad here. He used to be a part of...
Hey, Dijak, take those stupid sunglasses off. We're inside.
Wagner Watch.
Come Tuesday?
It wasn't him. It was his manager. You remember his name or?
I can't do the voice.
Oh,
Robert Stone.
oh yeah, that's who it was. So Lexis King walks in and like, I'm for Billy Big Bollocks, mate. And Lexis says, not Layla, the other person.
Robert Stone. Randy Sausage. Wilbourn's fallen off his chair, everybody. Wilbourn slipped and fell. He's
See a penny, pick it up.
That's good. That's luck law. That's why that makes sense. Whatever you just saw.
He's stuck in a hole. and he needs to hitch his wagon to Lexis King.
Yeah.
But the bloke, the man in the ball manager, says his name is
Robert Stone.
He says that'll happen over his dead body. King says, I'm virtually undefeated, and
Robert Stone.
Daddy cool over here.
I think when that red light's on me, it's like, I think people might spot something for doing this. I've got to protect the business.
Ava walks in. She's ain't got to say that. She's the rock star of general manager of NXT.
Sure is.
She says, Lexis, you got a match tonight, and you'll find out your opponent when he gets in the ring. And Lexis leaves, and Ava says she'll find the perfect opponent, basically.
Yeah.
Chase, you were upset backstage because of the loss for Thea Hale. Riley Osborne says Ridge is a liability. Ridge says, come on, mate, be fair. I was just trying to help. I didn't do anything deliberately, and you were the one who cost us last week, so whatever. Riley's tired of excuses. Ridge gets into it with him. They get heated, and Chase says, enough of this. Settle it in the ring next week. Riley says, that's fine. Storms off. Duke goes to say something, and Chase says, oh, not now, Duke.
What do we make of that bit of it? Like, we know what's happening with Riley Osborne and Ridge Holland, and presumably, like, it's either a Riley Osborne heel turn or he was right all along and Ridge goes mental or something like that.
Yes.
Goes absolutely
It's all part of the plan for, what's his name?
Duke Hudson.
No. Other
Andre
one.
Chase.
No. 10. Ty Dillon.
Oh, yeah, Sean Spears. Yeah, he's wanted to get up Chase U from a long distance. Yeah, what about Duke just getting, like, pied by Andre Chase? Like, yeah, at some point, he's got to be like, hang on, I'm class.
Yeah.
Why do I keep doing this? I don't know. That stuck out to me.
I hope he doesn't turn heel because he's got, as Sidge says, one of the greatest babyface fire-ups in all of wrestling.
Imagine him in Stacks as a tag team.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Right, what next? Oh, the triple threat to determine the number one contender.
It's one of my favourite things that happens on this podcast when old Savio Vega pops in.
Lou Bega. Josh Briggs, Joe Coffey, Wesley, number one contenders match, Obafemi on commentary. So they circle, and then obviously Briggs and Lee go, let's just kick the crap out of Joe Coffey because he's a bell end. Yeah. But they're Mark and Wolfgang, the rest of Gallus are there at ringside to save him. So that means that Wes and Briggs are like, you know what, let's just fight each other. And Coffey and Lee team up actually fighting Briggs then at that point. And then Josh gets sent into the ropes, catches Wesley, and then just throws him at Joe Coffey. I really like the way they're booking Josh Briggs.
Yeah, me too.
Aside from obviously...
No, yeah. I think you were sort of, as a wrestling fan, you were instructed to care more about how he got on rather than the result.
Yeah.
It was agented around how it was going to play out, yeah.
They're fighting, I think, they're fighting on the outside. I think Briggs goes to attack Wes, but Wes ducks, so then Briggs just nails Joe Coffey with a big boot. And then he does that spot where, I remember Corbin used to do this a bit. They're on the outside, he throws him into the ropes, and he just sort of bounces back and clotheslines his head off. A great spot, takes to a break.
Opportunistic sort of environment stuff, isn't it? I like that.
Briggs, when we come back, hits a sidewalk slam and a splash onto Joe Coffey. Covers, but Wes breaks it off by flying in off the top. Again, Lisa goes up top as Briggs catches Joe for a DDT. But Wes takes out both of them and does that nice spot I always like where they go to pin on one. Oh, kick out, right, I'll do the other one then quickly. 2 count on both. Wesley gets choke slammed into the corner. And Lee gets... Joe Coffey gets taken down as well. And then Briggs choke slams Lee onto Coffey and covers for a near fall as well. But the finish sees Josh Briggs get attacked by Gallus. Lee springboards off the middle rope. And Lee and Joe Coffey smash heads, and they fall on top of the now downed Briggs. And the referee counts 1, 2, 3. Wait a second, who's the winner? Both Wesley and Joe Coffey. It is subsequently announced by Ava. It will be a triple threat at NXT Battleground.
You could see, I know sometimes like this all feels a bit too convenient and like the referees are just made to look dumb, but you could see why, I think, in this case, couldn't you? Because the finish was a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
Because it was Coffey and Wesley. Having that.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll stack that one. I'd
will
ask him
do.
if I can like warm up for him when he does stand up show.
Open for him.
Yeah, I'll take this because I thought Joe Coffey was going to win straight up.
Yes.
So, like, the fact that Wesley goes into that match, just a Gallus thing, because it comes up again later on. It feels like they're pitching Gallus going for, like, both belts. Gallus boys on top at Battleground. You could theoretically argue, I know it was, like, Joe Coffey with all of them, but, like, theoretically, you could put them both into title matches, couldn't you, jumping ahead, like, if Noam Dar's been taken out and it needs a replacement. You could have both matches featuring Gallus wrestlers, and then they lose, and it's like, oh, we went for it all. Big swing in Vegas, we lost. Like, they went all in.
Yes.
Oh, it was Stacks I was telling about poker, but like, all in's a way where you can gamble everything.
Oh, yeah,
And
I know poker. Yeah, I know very well.
I have to have a chat with Stacks.
Oh, is he not?
He knows. It's weird. He knows every other type of gambling in Vegas other than poker. Blind spot for him. But yeah, you could have Gallus sort of go for
You know
it all.
about up in the ante in poker? Do you know about that?
Well, you know, he's aware of the phrasing, but I think he's misunderstood
Oh,
how to use it when talking about poker. Or he's seen a different kind of poker stars when he's staying up late at night. I don't know. Just saying.
I've seen those ads for like party poker on certain websites, yeah.
You know,
Even Gallus.
Only Connect host Victoria Corin Mitchell is a like multi-time poker million champion.
Really?
She's class at poker, yeah.
Fair
Like,
play.
that's a, like sort of, it's not a shoot job as such, but it's just like, oh, while I'm not doing telly and being erudite and writing interesting columns, I'm also really class at poker.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she lives a good life.
But yeah, Galaxy Brain booking from Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Really clever, I thought
Make a
this.
Dallas match more interesting, Hoyer Wesley. And
Yes. Right, Kelly's backstage with Carmen and Natalia asking how they're going to turn things around. Carmen's a bit concerned, but she's got the boat on her team. Record breaker, all that bollocks. Natalia says they've really bonded and become a well-oiled winning machine. When did they win?
You've done the research on this, haven't you? Check the
They've
feed.
become a well-oiled machine, but just doesn't win.
They've become an oiled machine. The oil's not performing
Actually,
that well.
Carmen did win that week. The bloke was like, don't worry, you're still a smoke show, and she kicked his head off.
Yeah.
That was good. Right, another one of our favourites. Brindley Reese is backstage getting ready for her qualifier. And Idris Sanofi and Malik Blade are there looking very concerned. Obviously, they're cursed, it seems. A lot of bad luck befalling them. Malik says they've got to stay positive. And Brindley also asks, are you going to come out and watch me at ringside? And Malik says, nah. And Nofe says, that's bad luck. Stop saying the words bad luck. Brindley says, it's not about luck, it's about confidence. Whatever you do, I'm fine with. Oh, then she cartwheeled out a shot.
Of course you can't without a shot.
So
yeah.
good.
Yeah. I am sad, like, don't mean to spoil the result of the match. I am sad she can't inadvertently cartwheel under a ladder in the match itself.
Yeah.
Because what a spot that would have been. But the payoff this week is maybe my favourite so far of this entire bad luck story.
Yes.
So
This was where Ava confirmed the triple threat for Battleground, and then we found out that Sexy Red is appearing on NXT next week.
what?
You're a big celebrity fan of NXT. That's cool, that is. Genuinely.
I'm old, so I looked up Sexy Red, like enormous Spotify numbers, huge. Don't. Right.
You said it, not me, brother.
But the biggest song on there, like I was like 60 odd million, like hundreds and hundreds of millions on a one she's done with Drake. So does that mean like that's WWE?
One step closer.
Well, is that WWE still trying? Is this Shawn Michaels still trying to reach out to that foohead and get them in? Like, imagine if somehow there's some sort of payoff at like an NXT BLE.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake at SummerSlam. I think the game's finished.
SummerSlam? No, I'm thinking of the UFC Apex.
Oh, sorry, yes.
What's that show again?
The NXT Battleground.
But Drake.
Jada Parker versus Brindley Reese.
Oh no.
A nice spot where she put Brindley on the second rope and springboard and just sat on her, basically. But Brindley fought back. She's got that pluckiness about her. Jawbreaker. Powers out. There's some nice backslides in there. Jada powers out of that, though, and hits a double underhook suplex. Gets her into body scissors, but Brindley fires up and gets out of that. She hits a knee to the face, comes off the ropes with the clothesline. Body slam, handspring lariat, gets 2. That was nice, the handspring. I've seen like people like Charlotte Flair try and do that, and it was less fluid than the way Brindley does it. And you think, wait a second, is Brindley Reese gonna do this?
Under control, yeah.
She gets Jada on her shoulders. Out come Idris and Malik. Jada immediately turns it around and hits the teardrop hip check, hip attack thing. 1, 2, 3.
So funny. Like, this finish is... Let's talk about this whole finish, actually. First, Brindley Reese's loss, and then we'll talk about Jada Parker's win. Brindley Reese just having the match in hand, and then it's like, if you haven't watched this, and it's NXT, so I imagine you haven't, they don't even make it to the ring. Like, you know, if you're Blade just walking through the door as if they've got lost on the way to catering. It's like, well, we're out here. Oh, God, she's lost. It's that brutal, and I can't hate that sort of pattern.
I love this. It's constant source of fun for us on the preview as well.
New bad luck things to preview, but it's like we've gone from like it being superstitions to them just being living pillars of misfortune. You remember Unlucky Alf on the Fast Show? Mm-hmm. Oh, bugger. We've lost again. We've lost again. That's where they're at now. So that's great.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, my child.
I've just had who else, whenever he comes into contact with sports stars, gives them bad luck? Nicholas, feel free to get involved.
From IRL or from NXT?
From life in general.
Oh, I know who. Yeah.
I'm not picking up what you're putting
Drake. Every time Drake bets on a sports team, they lose.
Really?
Drake's coming to NXT. Drake is coming to NXT.
Well, this is it, yeah. So we've just, the clues, the evidence is there. The clues are piling up.
Jeez.
And the back-to-back, you know how like wrestling shows schedule things, so you're supposed to pick up clues, breadcrumbs, isn't it?
Yeah.
So NXT kind of invented that in a way, actually. We need to talk about his finish, mate.
Oh, go on, yeah.
It's a V-trigger with her arse, and it doesn't work. You can't. No, they are asking you to believe, right, that somehow with the... It's not even with the swinging of her hips. With the propulsion of her arse cheeks, she has the power of like a shining wizard. Mm-hmm. Correct?
Yep.
And you don't see a problem with that. Shining wizard, did you just say? Shining wizard. It's not a finisher, mate. Just runs into her with a bum. And it's not even like...
like the rear view or something.
No. Tony Storm, you see like necks snapped against like bottom turnbuckles.
Well, not if she's pissing about with that thing in her shorts that one time.
No, that was
getting me bloody shorts.
That was bad. But otherwise, it's a killer. But it doesn't... There's no like... You need the support of her leaning against something. You remember when Sarray used to do that awesome drop kick when the person was leaning against the bottom rope?
Yes.
That's... Like, not to downplay Kenny Omega's V-trigger, or indeed the originator of the V-trigger, Mandy Rose, but the like the impact of that partially relies on somebody like leaning down. It really helps them have this thing to lean against. It's like you're smashing their head and neck against something, even if it only helps, it only aids. Maybe that's how she makes this finisher credible, because it looks stupid.
Okay.
It looks so stupid, and I just think we need to talk about that. People should go and look at the flying arse that they're calling a finisher.
I'm just amazed that Drake's coming to NXT.
I'm amazed we've cracked the code.
Drake songs can we repurpose? I've got like Von Dance, which is really annoying.
I don't know much Drake. I know the big hits. Hotline Bling.
Hotline Ring.
Good. Just grab a hold. We're going home.
I was going to say, just hold on. This is Mike Rome.
That yours better. I was thinking of going home like a match, you see. Grab a hold, we're going home.
Just hold on, it's microphone.
Hey!
Microphone! That's what it does, doesn't it? Thanks very much, huh? Hello, fellow kids.
Then you got a song called...
I know a Drake song from 11 years ago.
You got a song called Over from a few years back.
Possibly.
Oba. There you go. For Oba Femi.
I love how you couldn't think of an NXT wrestler that was legitimately over. Just
Oh, they're all over.
Oh, so that becomes the new NXT theme?
Yes.
Over by Drake. What about Kendrick? How does he factor into this? What are his big songs?
Well, you have to wait. That's going to see where...
on the preview.
Yeah.
Next week's preview.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
So next week we're going to be previewing whatever's happening in NXT, and
Sexy Red's going to be there next week.
Sexy Red's going to be there, and the battleground match between Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, they're already doing one NXT Underground match. Spoilers.
Book another. What's better than more. More is always more.
Yes. Greatness echoes great.
Greatness echoes greatness.
Anyway, Fallon's walking around backstage.
Who's in the other? We'll get to it later.
Yeah.
I'm excited to. I need a certain opinion from you about that match. Got some thoughts on it.
Fallon's walking backstage. Jasmine Nix walks up and says, it must be nice to finally get a win. Well, aren't you two both bastards?
Yeah.
But she says, hey, with this attitude, you can win. I knew you never needed any help. That's why I waited until after the match to get revenge on Thea. She just looks at her.
But so I did too.
Yeah.
I was what? It's all build for the ladder match, I guess, isn't it?
Yes. Then...
Oh my God.
Wendy Chu wakes up. Michael Sidgwick absolutely nailed this yesterday.
Oh my God. This is great.
Have you seen that? I sent you the. I know you have. I've sent it you.
Yeah.
The huge pep that Wendy Chu got on Level Up.
She works Level Up. It's like, well, I mean, it's like Rock coming back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically. This week, for those that haven't seen it, or for Nicholas Fiorke, it's like the glass smashing. That's a better one for you.
There's a bloke literally going, yes! And she comes out. It's great.
Wendy.
She's got a massive knee brace on.
Aye, they need to find a way to make that look more sleep adjacent.
Yes.
I don't know how they gimmick that one up. But she gets out of bed, she puts her slippers on, turns the alarm clock off. She yawns or makes like a type noise that was definitely superimposed. Like the sound, somehow you can't even see her face and you can tell the sound isn't connected to the footage you're watching. And he's just like, you can't do anything. But it's great anyway, 22.
Roxanne Perez gets a vignette. The NXT Women's Championship has always been hers, and that's why no one will get it. I disagree. I think people heard it before you, but still.
What do you think about her chances of getting on the main roster?
Oh, well, I'd feel bad about talking about this if Sid wasn't here.
Yeah,
so.
got it.
Everyone can say what they want, including the NXT universe, who love to post their useless opinions of her. All she sees when she looks in the mirror is the prodigy, the two-time NXT Women's Champion. And then Ava, she hasn't got to say her name, she's Rock's daughter, and general manager of NXT, reveals that she's spoken with Adam Pearce and whatever the SmackDown GM's name is. Forgotten it now.
Just gimmick's getting out of control, isn't it? Stay tuned.
And she'll find out her Battleground opponent next week.
Yeah.
Another game for the preview.
Perfect.
Lexis King comes out, says, look, he's been on a bit of a hot streak, and whoever walks through the curtain will join a long list of gentlemen who fall into the King. He says he's virtually undefeated in 2024. But he's interrupted by who, Michael Hamflett?
Robert Stone.
Who points the entranceway and brings out Dante Chen, baby! He's so over.
He is. I like, if for nothing else, some of those guys that get into the Performance Center every week and they don't like it up them, do they? They don't like it when the NXT goes on the road. They get a bit pissy when taking your PLEs elsewhere, are you? Like, why are you going out on the road for burgers when you could be having steak at home? But fair play to them, because they are there a lot of weeks and they must feel like they've built bigger bonds with these wrestlers. And you would think that honestly, like they were just welcoming a world champion home.
Oh,
yeah. When he came out, we weren't forecasting his demise or anything, but we were looking at his cage match. We were researching for like an article or a podcast, something. It was like
last televised not Level Up, because they said he was a stalwart of Level Up, which is
not even nasty about him.
No, not a compliment necessarily.
But we were just worried that he could be like next on the chopping block or anything like that. And it was just great to see him come back and get this reaction as if he was sort of, well, and I guess he is, a much missed NXT wrestler by these people. It was nice to feel like...
Oh, he got squashed by Bron Breakker as well, and a lot of people who did.
That's it, yeah. It was just nice to feel like there is still that, what is it? Like that enthusiasm for like, in their mind, like a homegrown talent. You know, it's like, he's one of our own. It still feels like because he's been around that long, he's one of them. And that's
he lost to Lexis King. There's the law. I didn't even realise this.
This is better than you already thought it was.
2023.
Yep. Like the kid from the Army family. Works in Vegas.
Yeah. He's got a job at the Scarefest.
Is that when he works at Scarefest? Mm-hmm. He temps in Vegas.
Dabba Kato beat Dante Chen in 2 minutes and 40 seconds in February of last year.
Jesus.
But now he's back. He's learned from this.
Dabba Kato. We'll go through some stuff, haven't we?
Hey, he beat Obafemi back in November of 2022.
That on the Largo League.
On Level Up.
Level Up. I'm watching that when we get back to the office.
Yeah.
He beat Obafemi.
According to this.
That's like watching, you know, when like a Brock Lesnar early 2002 dark match gets revealed or something, and he's still got his little beard, and he's flinging around doing a shooting star press or whatever. I'll tag him with Shelton Benjamin. That feels like one of them. I have to go back and watch that.
His first match in NXT, he beat Trey Baxter. Wasn't he the one who's going to be a superhero? He's now Blake Christian.
Yes.
Whatever, Blake Christian in Ring of Honor.
It appeared as if there was going to be like a relationship with him and Cora Jade, didn't there?
Anyway, he came out. Huge pep, as I said. Lexis King dominates early on, and you think, I can see where this is going. It's just another failed project for the manager who I can't be asked. But Dante Chen fires back up. The crowd are so behind him. He hits an atomic drop, an inverted atomic drop, I think it was. A pump kick sends King outside. He hits a half Nelson slam. He gets a 2 count. And then there's a sort of knowing wrestler, the wrestling fan thing of like, well, there was the flurry, and then here we go. King brilliantly nails him with this big kick, hits a drive-by. Robert Stone's up on the general manager, the manager guy is up on the apron. King setting up the coronation, but gets distracted. Chen gets out of it, and you think, here we go, and then you just gets hit with a super kick, and you're like, oh, well, that was nice. And then Lexis King goes to the coronation. Chen spins out of nowhere, rolls him up 1, 2, 3. A genuine, for me and for a lot of people, a genuine shock win. I did not see this coming.
Shock win, a nice surprise, and both were earned, I would say. Here.
Yeah, this is just nice.
This was the good kind of like banana skin win, because they, as you pointed out as well, and like this is really key to your enjoyment of, well, you key to your enjoyment of any of this is caring about any of these characters really, but your key to your enjoyment of this match specifically is that you've watched enough wrestling in your life, as you say, to like see like the cues for the finish.
Yes.
Or not that. Oh, and he's still in it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So you were fed a finish a lot and then not giving it, and then to get like all your expectations subverted.
So good.
A really, like, not a good match execution-wise, but a very thoughtfully agented one. And like, I'm going to go off a rant here, but like a reminder to me of why I love the Fed, why I'm stuck on characters more than matches, even to this day, is because if the work is sloppy or scarcely believable, whatever, if I buy into an element of that character's life or what I'm watching on screen, or I find it funny or whatever it is, I just care more.
I think probably one of the announcers should have learnt the person's name.
Oh, Jesus Christ. When your job is to put him over. Yeah, but we really want you massive on Lexis King book. Got it. I was King Booker. No, that's not what we said. Too late. I'm going
you heard King and switched off.
Yeah.
He needs a bit of a...
Teachable moment! Teachable moment!
Do you think, like, in, like, I don't know, like 2 years' time, he's going to be like, Vic! That chair's got wheels!
Yeah.
No, this wasn't particularly well worked, but I was with you. I was just bang in to, like, kind of, I don't know, not just to, and it's like, to be fair, Alexis King gets a bit of grief. He's all right as this idiot loser.
Oh, great. Like, that beard, it gives him, like, extra personality points, that beard. And was it Mello who put him onto that? I think I saw an interview with him where he genuinely said, oh yeah, Mello just said, you need to go to this barber if you want a good shave or whatever.
If it was, Mello should be saying that.
And he was like, what's the worst shave you can get, presumably?
Mello should be saying that on SmackDown for Heat.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that got Alexis King as barber. Woo! Yeah, use it.
Son of a bitch. Later on, I'm going to skip ahead because it was just again, lovely moment. Dante's backstage. Ava's just got to say she's Rock's daughter. And General Manager NXT walks up because Dante is sat with
Robert Stone. Microphone knocked himself with his arm.
He had a little glance to see what else was going on, didn't he?
Yeah, Mike.
Oh. Having a good time? Good.
Jesus Christ, man. Where we go? Why is it shit?
Anyway, Dante thanks Ava for the opportunity. Ava says it was all...
Robert Stone.
A little bit of Adam Cole to him then.
Oh, wait. I think he wants to say something else. Robert Stone, baby.
Ava says either manager guy made a start tonight, basically. Good. Who's he going to make a start next week? More games on games on games for the preview.
Right. Number 1.
Lots to look forward to next week. Rich Holland, Riley Osborne. I've skipped. Sorry, I've realised because of doing that. We had the bit with Trick Williams prior to that. He comes out, he says, look, straight to business. I took it on the chin when I got dropped on Supernova sessions, and Noam got attacked last week. He knows how that feels, of course. Doesn't wish that on anyone. He wants to make it clear he didn't attack Noam Dar. If he was going to attack him, he'd have been unconscious, and he'd had a size 15 Jordan across his forehead because he doesn't attack from behind. Out comes Metaphor. Well, 3/4 of Metaphor, I should say.
Meta 3.
I like, what was Jakara's line? Trusty, dusty musties.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Yeah.
They're like, we know it was you. It was Gallus, wasn't it?
It was Gallus probably.
Or Mensa.
Well, right. Whoever it is, I love that they are apparently like, so they're gumshoes. They're so switched on. They're so Columbo. That it's like, we're on to you. Don't think we're not watching. Within the same storyline of, hey, Lash, crushing on Trick.
What's going on here?
We'll shoot f***ing. Like that.
I want more backstage.
Yeah.
Does that Lexus?
That was Lexus King sneaking into a room with the view of beating somebody up, and he was late. He's like, I'm going to beat you up. Trick Williams. He got there. Somebody's already beat him up. See you later.
And they say, well, if it wasn't you, it was Javon Evans. Why?
Just Javon, like, doing, like, flips and performance. What did I do?
Aura Mensa says, admit you're a low life and that you don't deserve to be NXT champion. Lash is like, hey. Trick didn't do it. And they're like, why are you so confident of that?
Because we're shooting.
It's
not obvious.
That's going to be it, isn't it? He was with me at the time.
Yeah. They're all, what?
She says,
10 years passed. We've been married. We've got children. What is this?
thought it was the long game so I could win the NXT title.
You got ordained to marry us. You were the chief bridesmaid. What is any of this?
If anyone has any objections, please say no, or forever hold your peace. Anyway, she says, look, Trick's been through this. Aura's like, whose side are you on? And Trick's like, shut the up. I'll kick your ass. I think there's some breadcrumbs here.
I think there's some sort of storytelling going on.
Anyway, here come Dallas. Well, actually, technically, Joe Coffey's here, I should say.
What are we going to do when you're like interrupting a CM Punk promo on Raw for that? Anyway, here comes Gallus. God, M Punk, how good are you? Looking me.
Like if Lionel Messi was just like, I'm so good, I'm going to play this entire football match with the wrong, like only using my bad foot. That's Triple H going, I'm going to still book Monday Night Raw with Gallus. And who's the other one that we were like, he's kind of sandbagged himself there? Someone else he's had.
Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
He insists on it, yeah.
The man who's had more haircuts than wins on the main roster.
Gallus is, that's Triple H's Wet Monday in Stoke.
Yeah.
Like...
Anyway, he says, you're probably wondering why the guy who's just earned a title shot on the North American title, I was like, you're not wrong here, Joe. He's out here talking to the NXT champion. And then Wolfgang and Mark Coffey attack Trick from behind. They beat him up. But Javon Evans, good guy that he is, runs down to make the save, flies all over the place, but numbers game catches up to him. He gets battered. Trick gets back up and does better because he's the world champion, but he eventually gets overwhelmed, put on Wolfgang's shoulders, and they do that nice. I do like that finish where he's like up on the shoulders and Mark Coffey hits that running kick to the head. Joe drops his title on him and Gallus pose over him.
Yeah, we give Gallus a lot of deserved stick on it, but if they were good, this was good. Like, it's like elevating Javon Evans.
Yeah.
Because the, like Trick, the fact that he's got him as a mate, like, is that sort of traditional pro wrestling. Now you're getting a rub by being side by side with the champion straight away, but there's a couple of different stories that are overlapping, which is always quite nice. Again, Gallus, to be absolutely fair to the booking here, they've made their intentions perfectly clear. They want to go to the next PLE and win all the gold. And amidst stories that they're off away, they're putting everybody over on the way out, aren't they? Mm-hmm. You could foresee here a series of defeats as Gallus leave NXT that leave the people, I can't even want to say this, like better than they found them.
Yeah.
First time for everything.
Trick and Javon facing Gallus next week. Rich Holland, Riley Osborne. The final qualifiers. Tatum Paxley's in one of them.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. And the reveal, of course, of Roxanne Perez's challenger. Looking forward to that. As well as Sexy Red showing up.
Noam Dar, just quickly. Attacked, faking it, Gallus, other.
I think maybe he was attacked. I don't know, actually.
Could go a few different ways, this.
It has to be implied that it was Trick Williams, so much so that we've got no evidence that it wasn't you.
Yeah.
And then Lash is forced to be like, oh, he's got an alibi.
Yeah.
Me. But then I don't know who actually did it. Unless Noam just says, yeah, actually, I was made it up because I knew you were shagging and I wanted to expose you.
Very good. Yeah,
He's actually got a brain in his head.
Well, no, he's crafted this very, very elaborate plan to find out they were having sex instead of going, are you two having sex? Potentially cost himself a title match just to catch her out.
Yeah. 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 He was like, well, if you've been attacked and you're injured, I'll just get someone else. No! Right, main event time. It was the well-oiled winning machine who've not won as a team, Carmen Petrovic and Natalya versus Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice. Oh, and prior to this, there was a nice bit backstage where they're like putting on their belts and what have you. And Shayna's like, don't piss about tonight. Let's just kill him and do all the dancing afterwards or whatever. And she's like, yeah. I'm all business when it wins, but I like to have fun too. This was a sign of things to go.
It sure was, wasn't it? Oh, piss about Claxon.
But I had a lot of fun with this,
yeah,
and especially the post-match. Early on, Shayna backs Natty into the ropes, and Lola just kicks her square in the back, allowing Shayna to hit a DDT for 2. Natty escapes, brings in Carmen, who hits Shayna with those kicks, and we know what Carmen's kicks can do to Shayna, so her selling it just looked great as well. There's a double clothesline by Natty and Carmen to take us to break. We come back. Shayna's got Carmen in trouble. Lola comes in and just kicks her square in the ribs too. Lola's kicks look great.
Yeah.
This
has been a very efficiently told story.
Yeah.
In terms of who it's getting over and how it's gone about doing it. Very few complaints here.
But of course, Lola mocks Natty with a little dance, knocks Carmen down. Shayna comes in. Eventually hits Carmen with a suplex. Natty comes in, though, cleans house, snaps suplex on Lola, suplex on Shayna. Lola counters, but Natalya nails her with a discus lariat for 2. Carmen tags in, though. She hits a high crossbody, gets 2. Natty comes in. They go for a double suplex, but Shayna chop blocks Carmen's knee. Lola rolls her up. Natalya goes for a sharpshooter. Shayna tries to get involved. Lola spinning back fist to Natalya. They double team. Shayna gets knocked to the outside by Natalya. Lola goes for the sharpshooter, but she's too busy wiggling her ass, and Natalya reverses and locks in her own one. Baszler breaks it up. Carmen dives at Shayna and gets caught beautifully in a Kirifuda clutch. That was old Shayna Baszler.
Yes, trapped her.
Yeah.
Totally trapped her.
Just like, oh, you've got it. Oh, no, man, you're dead. But they spill to the outside, do Carmen and Shayna. And Natalya nails Lola, tags in Carmen. They hit the heart attack. 1, 2, 3. The well-oiled machine does get a win.
Good match. And I felt this with Baron Corbin and the Wolf Dogs once they really clicked what they had with him and Bron Breakker. And there's probably other examples because there's been plenty of them now in NXT. This honestly feels like they've, Triple H and Shawn Michaels had a chat and been like, Natalya and Shayna Baszler, and they've gone 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever this has been. And week 1, this is how they all interact for the first time. Week 8, this match, and then the subsequent match that they're about to book for Battleground, everything in the middle. This has achieved everything they could have hoped for, right? Natalya,
You've forgotten all about Lola Vice failing with her Iron Survivor.
She fell short in the attempt to win the title.
Yeah.
And then she's look to Shayna Baszler, somebody that she would logically see as an idol because she's got this similar wrestling style, but she still likes to shake her ass and have a party, and that's okay. That's what, that was always going to be the problem between them, as we saw in NXT Underground when it's Shayna was like, you haven't got enough killer instinct, I'll do this for you, but we'll never know if Lola would have survived on that night. Yeah. Natalya, like, I know doesn't bring you much joy. She does have to win sometimes in order for any of this to be credible. Like, she's a veteran presence, but like, yeah, so is Barry Horowitz. Like, who's going to feel credible as this winning character? So she has to get the odd win. But Carmen Petrovic, like, we couldn't put over enough that contract signing segment.
Yes.
How great she looked in that. And again, more of it in this match.
Great entrance as well.
Yeah. None of it wasted. None of this wasted right up to the match that, again, like, I was going to say, I don't see many people are talking about this. It's because it's NXT. Like, the clues were there for what we're about. We previewed this yesterday. I think we were across this because of the stuff they told you. The final of all of this is the coolest sounding outcome.
Yes.
Love it.
So after the match, Lola's in the ring. Shayna comes in. She looks disappointed, but you know what? She's, proud of her protege, let's say. She helps Lola to her feet, and Lola just out of nowhere spins and kicks Shayna, nails her in the head. Oh, God. And Lola's showboating, as she often does. She dances, she talks smack, and then she heads out to the apron, does a little dance. And this is as good as Shayna's looked in ages, of just like, oh, bollocks, she didn't kill the monster. Shayna suddenly appears behind her and snatches her into a Kirifuda clutch, drags her down. Lola's passing out, basically, but thankfully the refs come in to break it up, and they separate them, but they keep going at it, and they have to be, pulled apart on several occasions. Ava, she hasn't got the same name, she's Rox Dalton, the general manager of NXT, runs out and says, look, you're both looking for a fight. I want to see this. We all want to see this. Let's do it at Battleground. And Shayna says no. And I'm like, oh, no. She doesn't want the match. Surprise. She said, let's do it at NXT Underground. Oh, my God. I love it.
In the UFC Apex one, I assume, yeah? Now, think about this. The UFC Apex typically set up for the Ultimate Fighting Championships.
Indeed.
Which is, you won't know this, it's an MMA organization.
Oh, right,
It's a market leader. Shayna Baszler, not a hugely successful MMA background, but an MMA background nonetheless. Now, those wrestlers, like, she's probably called for NXT Underground in the UFC Apex, no less, because she's keeping her fingers crossed that it might take place in an octagon, which is the cage with which the UFC fighters fighting. Right?
How many sides has that got?
8.
That makes sense.
Yes. It's the 8-sided steel. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's got this background in cage fighting, but when you move to pro wrestling, there's like less opportunities to wrestling cages. So, Wilbourn, I've got to ask you, not as an MMA guy, but as a wrestling fan, like, was this a smart move on Shayna Baszler's part? If they suddenly find themselves wrestling in a cage, how is she going to manage that environment? I'm
not sure if you're aware of this, but back in 2020, just before the awful global pandemic hit, of course, there was a show called Elimination Chamber, and that actually is set in a cage itself, the Elimination Chamber, hence the name. Yeah. And there was 5 other people involved in that match.
No, you don't stand a chance of winning if you don't have experience.
Well, no, exactly. And obviously, it's an elimination, again, as the title suggests. Generally, whoever gets the last elimination wins because it gets down if people get taken out one by one. So normally, you maybe eliminate 1 or 2 perhaps. And you're just looking to survive.
Yeah, of course.
Look at the draw of what have you. Shayna Baszler actually eliminated everyone.
What?
All 5.
What?
Eliminated everyone in one Elimination Chamber 2020 and went on to WrestleMania.
Well, probably won the title, didn't she?
No, dear, that's wrong.
But I guess if you're sort of getting excited about this match, you'll be telling fans right now to dread it and run from it.
Exactly. Let us know your thoughts on NXT this week in the comment section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch, they can follow both of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Randy Sausage.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. Follow our brilliant, very hardworking producer.
Sorry.
Kept you on his toes today. At It's Adam Nicholas, and make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll be back later on today to preview AEW Dynamite. But for now, this has been the NXT review. My thanks to Hamflett, to Stacks, to Mike, to Nicholas. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.